Welcome everybody to the VAIL VRML Season 2 North American Semifinal Pre-Show. What a mouthful. My name is Nightfire with two E's. I am here with my co-caster Chumbait. And Chum, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. As always, whenever it's a VRML cast, whenever it's VAIL NA semifinals, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, we have had already a stellar day of gameplay with EU going through their semifinals. But for those that are just tuning in, I do want to sort of break down how we've gotten here and the road that most of these teams have led to get to this point in our tournament postseason. It starts with 12 weeks of regular season gameplay where these teams have battled out against each other for a chance at being top of the regular season ladder. At the end of those 12 weeks, we took the top 7 teams and automatically qualified them for the closed qualifier. We then had the Challenger Cup, where all of the teams ranked 8th and below had an opportunity to be entered into that closed qualifier. That Challenger Cup ended with, I can't remember who was the winner of NA's Challenger Cup.
I'm running.
But either way, I do not believe they advanced through into the semifinals. So we've had multiple weekends already of postseason gameplay, where we've had the Challenger Cup, we've had the first round, aka the round robin of the group stage, and 4 teams came out of that round robin group stage: Wrecked, Cope, Acer, and Global Dystopia. Those are the 4 teams we'll be watching this afternoon, playing against each other, and ultimately it's going to be, I think, some of, if not the best VAIL will get in the North American region all season long. Obviously, Acer, a team coming in strong, 12-0 in the regular season, Chum, and Global Dystopia 5-6. We'll talk a little bit more about Wrecked and Cope, because they'll be our second match of the afternoon, but I want to start with your thoughts, your feelings about the season, about how we got here. I mean, again, I think that undefeated record is tremendous.
It's always tremendous, and we even talked about it at the con last year, I guess,
right,
in 2024 in July. Acer is quite the name, and they've done it in Breaches, they've done it in VAIL, and 12-0 is nothing to laugh about. Me personally, though, I think Global Dystopia, you look at their win-to-loss ratio, and I think the majority of people kind of immediately switch
write them off.
write them off,
Yep.
kind of dismiss them, but really this is going to be quite the matchup.
Yeah, I think we interviewed the top 4 teams for North America this year, and we'll be debuting those interviews shortly after this pre-show, immediately after, really, with Acer have had some roster change-ups. You'll notice Fizz being added in to that Acer roster. They claim that being a key factor to their team. Global Dystopia, on the other hand, coming in focused as well. They know their challenge up against Acer, and if anything, they're kind of thinking ahead, right? Because today, the losers of each matchup, we'll have 2 matches played, Acer and Global Dystopia and Rex versus Cope. The losers go down into the bronze matchup, so they are not done. Their season isn't over with. They have a chance to compete for 3rd place still. But the winners will go on to those finals and battle it out for 1st and 2nd. So there is definitely a lot to be had if you win. We're talking about $5,500 on the line, Chum. This has got to be factored in at the end of the day to how these teams feel.
Absolutely. I think this specific matchup that we're going to watch in just a moment, Acer versus Global Dystopia, if it's anything like what we saw from Global Dystopia during the Season 2 closed qualifiers, it's going to be a feisty one. And, Global Dystopia is known for having those really close bonds. That's a team that, rarely see roster changes in that team. They're really a close-knit group of players. And Acer, I mean, we're gonna hear them talk in the interview, but they're also top fraggers, and they've got quite the code.
I mean, they're coming in with experience, obviously, from VRML Con, as are Wrecked, the squad that's going up against Cope. And I think at the end of the day, whatever we get for grand finals, it's going to be a very exciting matchup. My predictions, if I had to throw one down, I know it's a little early, but I'll say I think it's Acer and Rect coming out, which is pretty that's like a meta prediction, right? That's that's what I think a lot of the community would guess and assume is going to be the 1 and 2 of the regulars. I think if you asked who's going to be first and second at the start of the season, people would have said Rect and Acer. I think that would have been most people's answers. So it's an easy answer, but let's talk about the games. Acer Global Dystopia. We talked about those teams a little bit, and I want to touch on Rect and Cope. Your thoughts on this Cope squad coming in to challenge the former VRML champions.
We saw Cope in the close qualifiers, right? We saw them in December. They put up such a fight, and they actually managed to sneak right into the top 4 of these semifinals with, at the end, wasn't it just 4 players? Because they kept having a disconnect. Cope, they are a roster of highly skilled fraggers. I think my only concern for them and my only worry is that they might go up against really highly coordinated teams, much like Acer. I don't know, maybe probably Global Dystopia, but very much Rect. And that kind of reliance on sheer talent and sometimes even luck may not pan out very well for them. We'll see.
Yeah, and I think to your point at the end of the day, with Rect and Acer being here, there's no easy route to victory. No matter what you get in the finals, you're going to have a super tough opponent, both this series and the next series, which will be live tomorrow. We'll have that bronze matchup and the grand finals, the best of 5 series, to determine who is going to come away with $5,500 in cash. That'll be happening tomorrow. That is, of course, thanks to our sponsors, Axe Labs, coming in and contributing in $10,000 to the cash prize pool for Season 2. We cannot thank them enough for their support. It is tremendous. That gets split amongst NA and EU, and first place for NA is coming away with $5,500 of that prize pool. So, again, a lot on the line, all thanks to Axe Labs. We're also sponsored by ProTube VR, the best stock in the game. I have my ProTube underneath my couch behind me. But it is a stellar piece of machinery that helps stabilize your aim in any of your favorite VR shooters. And last but not least, HyperX, contributing into the North American prize pool. Hardware is on the line on top of all of this cash for both first and second place. And HyperX gear is top notch. I cannot recommend HyperX enough. You see Chum with HyperX headset on. I got the Procast S and the HyperX headphones on that were used, I believe, on stage at VRML. They're a stellar pair of headphones. I love HyperX. I use all of their gear all the way down, and they support the VRML, so we really do appreciate them quite a bit. You can actually get 15% off if you use code, or 10% off any purchase in North America if you use code VRMLHX23 at checkout, and it'll get you 10% off right now if you go pick up HyperX gear on the HyperX website. So shout out to them, and shout out to them for their support. We really do appreciate them. I also got to mention the ProTube VRML exclusive stock is available as well. If you want to go get that, you can head on over to ProTubeVR.com and pick up that exclusive VRML 2024 stock that's on sale. It looks fantastic, and it was a really nice design that they made for VRML last year. We are about ready, though, to take our break. We're going to be transitioning over to some interviews that we have conducted. Acer and Global Dystopia both sat down with me to chat about their team, their season, and how they've been preparing for these matchups ahead of us. I hope you guys enjoy getting a little insight into these players and what they do and how they feel about these matchups, because I sure do enjoy chatting with them. They always, well, it's always a little bit of fun, isn't it, Chum?
Yeah, no, it is.
But we also will have interviews of Cope and Rect before their game, but that'll be after the Acer Dystopia series, which again is coming up first. Acer and Global Dystopia, and then Cope versus Rect immediately after. So 2 series this afternoon. But it's time. Interviews up ahead. Don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss it. Map 1 starts in about 15 minutes. It's Season 2 semifinals. Welcome, everybody, to the Final Four postseason interviews. My name is Nightfire with 2 E's. I am joined by the Acer squad. We've got a full roster almost here for the interview. We'll start from my left to right, so that's Fizz. Why don't you introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself and your role on the team.
My name's Fizz. My role for the team is to, look around, maybe get a first pick. Just support my team, just to play around them and do whatever I can to help them. And a little bit about me, I've been playing VAIL for maybe 3 or 4 years now, and Julian actually got me into the game. And now we're on a team, a great team.
Awesome. Taquito?
I'm Taquito. I also play more of a support role. I play like mid positions, wherever the team needs a player. I also schedule our scrims, and I'm the co-captain. Fun fact about me, most people already know, but I'm one of the first founders of Acer.
Nice. Tremendous organization within VR esports for sure. Julian?
We got incredibly lucky.
I'm like the bomb carrier, kind of. I mean, yeah, that's really about it. Just designated bomb carrier. I'm also a founder, so we're like these 3 here.
Awesome. Kodiak?
I'm a hybrid or flex player. I play pretty much whatever I get set up to. I could be entry frag, lurk, mid control, or if our main IGL isn't here, who is Achilles, who didn't have the time to make it here today, I am co-IGL, so I IGL when he's not here. So I pretty much just play any position that needs to be filled or needs to be adapted to.
Great. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. Taquito, I'll start with you. You know, when you started the season, obviously Acer, there are expectations for your squad to perform well, just with that brand of Acer within the VRML. Did you anticipate you'd be in the Final Four this season?
I think most of the league anticipated that Acer would be. It does add a lot of pressure towards us. I'm not gonna lie, it's like we're expected to be at the top, and we lose a scrim, we lose one match, we lose a few rounds, and the whole community starts talking about it like, oh my god, is Acer falling off? Like, it adds a lot of pressure, but
They're so
I mean, we still try our best. Yeah, they're takeable, but I like to, it adds also more. It lets people know that there might be a chance when we lose, so it adds kind of it motivates other teams. So it's not the worst thing in the world. It gives us more competition at least, or else people are just too unmotivated to play.
That's for sure. Julian, I mean, you look back at the past season with Rect taking the championship, but now you have a chance here to be on that banner for season 2. I mean, how does it feel to be in this position in the Final Four? How did it feel to progress through the round robin? Give me the insights.
I mean, it feels pretty normal. I think we're kind of used to doing good, and especially with Fizz now, like Rex, like big carry. I think it's gonna be a little bit easier.
Fizz, I mean, coming onto the team in this season, I'll ask you this question. What was maybe the most challenging part of joining a new team, of joining Acer in season 2?
Well, so here's the thing. A lot of people don't know this, but I originally started with Acer as a founder, like very, very start in VAIL. And I just decided to leave just to personal things, and Rec took me back, or Rec got me, and I just wanted to come back to my guys. So I'm back now.
Yeah, they beat us a little too hard last season, and it was all thanks to Fizz. So we ended up bribing him back into Acer.
Yep, lots of money, trust guys.
Kodiak, what was maybe the best part of the season for you guys? What stands out to you in season 2?
Mainly getting our get back and probably getting our roster to be as strong as it is now. Because last season, we had a bit of loose threads, we had some weaknesses, and that eventually led us to cost us VRML Con. And this season, we really amped up and we got our skill together, we got our comms together, and now we're undefeated pretty much. And I'm really confident that we're going to take home the championship title this season.
Julian, I'll direct this one to you. What are you doing to prepare for the Final Four, for these the last weekend of Season 2?
Not gonna lie, I've been slacking a good bit. I've been like kind of sleeping in, not really practicing, but I think it's like riding a bike. You don't really lose your skill after a while. I mean, you just got to play like a couple matches of like pubs and scrims and you'll be good. So we're just gonna start scrimming every day up until then.
I mean, you have 2 days, so start now, I guess. And then, a brief for everybody here. Fizz, we'll start with you. Any shout outs for the season, any shout outs to the community that you want to send out now?
I would just give shout outs to my team for supporting me so much with the plays and things I do and motivating me and just giving me more passion with their energy. So it's really good to have a motivating team and just know what they're doing.
Awesome. Taquito?
Well, I just want to give a shout out to all the competitors this season. A lot of good players, a lot of good teams, and hopefully we see them again next season.
Yeah, for sure. Julian?
Probably just my parents. They've supported me like this whole time. They've never really like not been against this, which is pretty nice. And I guess just shout out XLab for making this all possible.
Shout out Tropical.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out Tropical. Kodiak?
I guess I only have to give a shout out to the Acer family. I mean, ever since I became a part of them, I got a job as a VR software engineer. I got a girlfriend. A lot of other good stuff has happened. I became like one of their better players, and I play for I think 4 Acer teams right now. I played for the Pavlov team. We won the championships. I played with them for X8. I played with them for VAIL, and I play with them for Breachers. So I got no one else to thank but them for giving me a nice home in VR.
We love to see it. Thank you guys for taking the time to chat with me. I wish you the best of luck in your final matches of the regular season and maybe in Breachers too. But regardless, thank you guys for taking the time to chat. We'll see you all in game.
Thank you.
All right, see ya.
Thank you.
Nightfire.
Welcome, everybody, to the VAIL postseason interview. My name is Nightfire with 2 E's. I am here with 4 of the illustrious players of Global Dystopia, ranked 5th regular season ladder, a dominant team this season. We'll go down from my right to left. So LMK, you'll start. Introduce yourselves, kind of tell me a little bit about yourself and what's your role on the team.
All right, I'm LMK. I am the co-captain of Dystopia. I have been with this team since December 2023. I'm more of the, I guess, entry frag and the I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna push and shoot everyone. I'm also like basically everything that Tabby doesn't do is me, which is a whole lot of nothing. I don't do anything. Tabby kind of does everything, and I play video games for fun.
Excellent. Tabby?
I'm Tabby. I've been on the team for 2 years, a good while now. I carry the puck, and I tell people what to do. And then I let LMK do everything else.
Duke?
I am Juke, not Juck 3. Oh, I froze. Juke, not Juck 3. I play on CV1. I rejoined this season. I played in preseason, and I'm the entry.
Okay. Pop-Tarts for life.
Hello, my name is Pop-Tarts for Life. I joined Dystopia this season. Very happy about that. I kind of just go with the flow of the team. Kind of,
LMK, I'll start with you. Your regular season went well, sat 5th. Is that sort of where you anticipated yourself ending your season at when you started? Did you think you were going to be 5th at the top of the ladder?
No. To be honest, the beginning of the season was rough. But then we're coming off of the season 1, which was we had a decent roster, and then at the end of that one we kind of just didn't know where to go. And so going into season 2, me and Tabby took the lead on the team, and we were kind of just thrown into it all kind of wild. And to be honest, we did have some growing pains at the start. Like we were losing like matches and scrims that we probably shouldn't be losing. Our first match against Determined, though, did kind of spark us to tie Determined, a team that we've always lost to, and then finally come back and be able to tie them and almost win, which sucks. But to come to now, towards the end of the season, where at one point we were third, and then we had a very tough match at the end of the season to drop us down. But now that we're coming back, it's actually a lot better. And honestly, I'm happy with where we're at, and I'm happy that we're in semis. So I think I'm really proud of what we've done so far.
Talk more about the round robin, but Tabby, I want to get your thoughts on the regular season. What was maybe the hardest moment for that regular season, and maybe the best moment?
I think the hardest moment was kind of getting everyone back together and resyncing us. We had the majority of our roster changed in the previous season, and Odyssey, our previous IGL, left and I took over. So, coming from my first season IGLing and trying to learn how to take care of everything and I'd keep track of everything at once was a big step up for me. We pretty much disbanded at the end of last season. Then we went to VRML Con, and then we made the team again because we got really excited. But yeah, that was our biggest hurdle. Our greatest strength, I think, we've come a long way with that. So even though we had that at the start, I feel like we're a more synchronized team now than we ever have been in the last 2 years between VAIL and Breachers. So yeah.
Juke, this one is for you. How did the postseason go? How are you feeling going into it? The round robin, obviously a little bit nervous, a little nerve-wracking. How did that go for you?
So of course, when we went into it, we lost that one round with Cope, and that immediately set our nerves pretty high. Was it Cope?
Arsenal,
sorry. I messed up. It was with Arsenal. We lost that one round and then got the other one. But our nerves really racked up when we went against Rect. But we powered through. We won. We got into the finals, and going into it, we're pretty pumped up. Even if we get dead last and fourth, we're still very glad to be here.
LMK as the captain, what are you doing to prep for what is now the last games of the season? There's a lot on the line with that cash prizing and everything. So, what are you guys doing?
Oh, for me personally, I prestige and reset everything back to 0, so I lose all my guns in progress. For them, guys, what are you guys doing? We've been scrimming a lot. Hopefully, kind of get as a team, just work on some new strats, or even just like getting back on our old ones, trying to get better and like just overall grow. Even if we know we're kind of coming into this going against Acer as our first matchup, it's definitely at first it's intimidating, but I think at least we can try and pull through, and miracles happen. It's a Christmas miracle at least, so I got faith.
Yeah, it's definitely a tall order. Tabby, how are you feeling, going into this postseason? How did the round robin go? How are you feeling with Acer as your next opponent?
I'm really excited. This is the farthest we've ever come in any season after playing for 2 years. So even going up against Acer, even if we lose to Acer, we're playing for third place.
Right.
We're going either against Rect or Cope. I think we have a chance of getting that. We've been scrimming Rect 2 times a week for the last couple of weeks. Taking maps off them, almost winning scrims, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been working hard, preparing a lot. Yeah, we're excited to be here no matter what we get. That's why we play. We just play for fun, so.
I love to hear it. I really appreciate you guys taking the time. Pop-Tarts, I'll start with you. You have a shout out you want to give to anyone, the community, anything you want to say, any final words of your season 2?
Not really. I think just for the most part, I'm stoked to be on such a great team for the season.
You're at Juke, any shout outs?
I want to shout out to the one random guy during the round robin in the stream. He said I was the GOAT. I don't remember your name, but you're my GOAT.
Savvy.
Odyssey. He was our captain for 2 years, took a step down because of personal life stuff. But he helped bring us to where we are now and helped teach me how to IGL and do everything that I do. So that all goes to him, and this team is his child, basically. And we're just carrying it on for the season. So, Odyssey.
Okay.
All right, I got a lot.
Yeah.
I got Shimmy Marui for noticing me in a pub match 3 years ago now and putting me on Infinitum. Nolu for captaining Infinitum. And then the rest of them is all of Global Dystopia here. Everyone that's been on this organization itself are great people. And honestly, I appreciate them all super, like, just a lot. Even for like accepting me into their organization and letting them lead this team as well is a lot. So I thank everyone for that.
Awesome. Again, thank you guys for Tabby needs a handshake. There you go. Thank you guys for spending your time with me this afternoon. I know you got to maybe get back to practicing, get ready for these games that are going to be just a few days from now. So I wish you the best of luck. I'm looking forward to tuning in. It's going to be a good one, regardless of the outcome. So I'm excited about it. But thanks again, guys, and good luck.
Thank you, Nightfire.
Thank you.
Welcome everybody to the VAIL NA Season 2 Semifinals. My name is Nightfire with 2 E's. I am here joined by my co-caster Chumbait, and we are ready to dive into Acer versus Global Dystopia. Chum, how are you feeling? We're finally here into the NA Semifinals.
No more anticipation. The time has come. I just want to see the bullets. I want to see the utility. I want to see the knives. That's it. Seriously, I want to see the action.
It is going to be action-packed, to say the least. This is the first of 2 series this afternoon. We obviously will be diving into Rect versus Cope immediately after this series finishes. And for those unaware, this is a best of 3. So it's an opportunity for us to be done in 2 maps if Acer have anything to say about it. And I think they do, Chum. Again, for those that maybe missed the pre-show, missed the interviews, this is Acer, a team that feels awfully confident in themselves with their new roster, and rightfully so, because they're 12-0, Chum.
12-0. I mean, that just speaks for itself. I don't have to. People in the chat have been telling me all day in EU and now in NA. It's we're glazing them. We're glazing people too much. So I'll cut back on it. But I have to I have to pay respects where they're due, and Acer have really put in a lot of work, as Kodiak and Taquito said. We'll see. We'll honestly, only time will tell.
Yeah, I mean, you go 12-0, and then we'll talk a lot about your team too. Okay, it's really easy if you want to have the commentary be focused on you and your squad. And he heard it in the interview too. They're used to it at this point, right? They're used to any little loss is a detriment. Oh no, look, it's a weak gap in the Acer armor, and it's like, they're no stranger to that sort of pressure, and pressure is on right now, Chum. The winner here guarantees that they're going to at least be coming away with second place money, because they'll get that chance at first place battle in the grand finals tomorrow. But second place money isn't too bad in and of itself either. $2,300 on the line here. So that's essentially what both these series mean today. That's what both of these teams are playing for. Over $2,000 in cash and hardware on the line this afternoon. If you lose, you get to fight for third, but you're out of the money. You're out of the hardware, and you're essentially battling at that point then for the star on your team roster that shows that you got third in the Season 2 Grand Finals. So still something to fight for, but nonetheless, a lot on the line here. We've got our teams in lobby ready to go. They've fired up map number 1. It's Acer and Global Dystopia, Chum, and we're not going to Suna because that would be too easy, and we're not going to Miru. Instead, we are kicking off this best of 3 series with a kitty opener. And Dystopia are going to be starting on the attack. Acer will be starting on the defense. And Kitty is where we go to figure out who is going to be advancing on to the Grand Finals tomorrow and who's battling for third place.
This is a big map pick. I mean, yeah, we've been casting, we've been seeing a lot of top and really competitive teams not really preferring Kitty, but we'll see what happens. This is Global Dystopia on the offense. A quick early frag onto Fizz by Let Me Know.
Tabby and Juke barreling into A's site. They'll be fighting for their lives soon. Shots coming in from Kodiak. A fight over on the edge that ends with everyone down and Scanner on the floor. Pop-Tarts all that Acer have, and they're going to be trying to rotate in to site a little bit late. 3 left alive from Global Dystopia, and the pistol opener definitely goes Global Dystopia's way.
Here comes Taquito, captain of Acer. Oh, the disrespect from Let Me Know. A knife to give Global Dystopia the first point here on kind of non-meta map, Kitty.
I mean, honestly, I don't know if that's... I'd say that's the tactically right choice. You're on a short corner in your pistol round. You should have the knife out because it's a one-hit kill versus your pistol, which you know isn't going to be, and so it's an interesting play, but honestly a pretty high-level one in my opinion that ends up netting that round win to Global Dystopia. They know who they're going up against. It's Acer. It's the number 1 team in the region. You got to pull out all the stops.
But you also got to cut me some slack. I'm not ready for these big brain
I know, right?
fast neuron strats. Big early nade onto Let Me Know. This time Mad Dog comes out on top. A second frag does not come out. No, it does. A headshot onto Beardy, and look at this. Scanner's so close to the site. 2 down, 3 down. Only Tabby left. Close engagement and a knife.
Kodiak. They say you want to play knife games. I'll pull my knife out with rifle rounds.
With the rifle rounds, absolutely crazy. Kodiak, let me avenge for my team captain, Taquito, who's done so much for me. And there they go.
That is impressive. But again, a wise tactical choice. On the short corner, you know your opponent's going to be right in your face when you round that edge, and the knife ends up prevailing, even when the rifle's out, as we get tied up 1 apiece.
This time it's a skate push, and Global Dystopia are taking it a little bit easier. They're not rushing their way onto site anymore. Look at that nade onto Let Me Know from Neuro. Big punishment there on Bunker, but look at Beardy trying to contest it. Neuro is tucking back in. Smoke has dissipated. I feel like Neuro is going to peak late game and get quite a couple kills unless Beardy shuts them down. Time nade goes pretty close, but it is an airburst.
Nades coming out over the top. Almost connecting there. Zoning out the defense at least and enabling the push here from Juke to get a little bit of control. They'll go down quickly, though. Trades across to the site as Scanner gets in to A, but not for long. Everyone else does their job. Fizz scoops up Tabby. Acer are in good form as they open up 2-1.
We're seeing really coordinated pushes from both of these teams. I mean, for now, it's too early to tell, at least for me. Most of these rosters are playing really competitive, and I'm really liking where this is going.
It's just our first series, our first map of 2 best of 3s this afternoon. So a lot of action ahead of us, and yeah, I want to see what Global Dystopia is going to bring. You know they have trained and practiced for this moment to some degree, and I wonder if there's going to be any off-meta strategies that are going to prevail. Here comes a pretty heavy B-site push, shut down by Taquito and Mad Dog.
H-Frag, and Mad Dog lands another headshot onto Let Me Know. Not before Neuro goes down. Fizz blasting their way through. Beardy and Pop-Tarts go down, and just like that, Acer, they're finding themselves with momentum. 3 points on the board now. They're picking up some steam.
Yeah, exchange there. That goes back and forth, and you know, Acer aren't afraid to lose a player or two because they rely on each other heavily. They have a good bit of coordination between the two, and you can see both Fizz and Taquito doing the work there to clean up the final two attackers to put Acer up 3-1. But still, I like the effort from Dystopia. They're trying that full court press to B side. It almost worked. They almost broke through that front line, gets them into the back of B, but there wasn't quite enough momentum there for that push to make its way all the way through. And so now we got an A-side switch up with Kodiak opening things up with an early kill.
Juke and Mad Dog trade out there on the pawn, and that's going to be a big engagement. Kodiak, another kill. Neuro clearing out. The scanner's on the floor. I mean, they have full control of the A site. The colonists are completely dismantled. It's all up to Let Me Know. AK-12 rounds blasting over. They're stuck in the pond. Time nades. They're being chased down.
Oh my gosh, there's no escape from the Acer squad when they get on a roll. And you can see again in what is a solid play from Kodiak as they caught that first kill over the top and then to transfer onto the head there for the second onto Beard. Nero finds their end of the bargain as well, and it's just Acer looking good. 4-1, Dystopia need to get their foot back in the door. And what is a map that I think has shifted a little bit more to the offensive side, Dystopia are going to want to take at least 2 or 3 rounds before the side swap.
They maybe, despite the tactical advantage, maybe they shouldn't have knifed that last kill on round number 1. Down goes Beardy with a beautiful nade from Neuro. Kodiak is on the angle on A. They could be sneaking. They're coughing. That Tabby hears the shots. Kodiak is trying to go for the knife. They shut them down. A site under Global Dystopia control. Here comes a crash back. Neuro on the front line.
Nice kill. Nero over the top. Pop-Tarts for life tries to catch the refrag. Gets put into a tough position, though. Able to swing around and catch the quick rotation to their flank. Trying to battle off what is a multi-pronged push from this attack as the flash connects over the top. And that's a beautiful retake from the duo. That's coordination and teamwork, and ultimately a lot of pressure that overwhelms the Global Dystopia defense that was trying to hold down their scanner. Almost, though. There's only 2 were left alive between Fizz and Taquito, but close only matters in horseshoes and hand grenades, as a 5-1 lead is pretty tough for Global Dystopia to deal with right now.
I feel like I'm being hit by a defibrillator. This is shocking pace and gameplay compared to the EU. I mean, just so much more fast-paced. Everything is playing out so much faster. 3-2 split now. Scanner up through skate. The timing is good. They're going full force. Knives are out. But look at Scanner on skate. It's slowing down. So is the A push.
Kills are solid, honestly, from both sides. Dystopia has found several kills most rounds and kept things relatively close. At this point, though, they're down 2 so early to what is ultimately really good utility toss. And they will get into B site. A very fast push sets them up. Tabby catches one. There's still another defender on the back end, and it's Taquito VR, who does get picked up by Tabby again, who now has site control, finds the third. They've clutched themselves the site, and it's now up to Beard to stop the rotation.
Beardy in a beautiful position, but you can't forget, Tabby just Rambo'd their way into B site and held it right before they plant. Look at Neuro and Kodiak. This is the Wombo combo. This is the prophet. The prophecy come true. The duo are pushing on to A. Where's Beardy when Tabby needs him?
They're going to fly forward, and only 1 for 1, but still, it's a 1 for 1. And there is still 1 left alive. Do they know that? Beardy is here. Scanner interrupt comes in. They're going to try and stick it. They're more than halfway there. Where's the fling from Beard? It's too late.
With the one hand. Disrespectful from Kodiak. 6-1. And we're 1 round away before the side swap. Unbelievable guts. I mean, that takes courage from Kodiak.
Oh, so
fearless in the face
unfortunate.
of death.
You got to look back at the replay there because you can see Beardy has the angle for a second, and the shots are hitting, but on the front of that scanner. They duck behind for cover. They have just the right angle available to them, and we go to the last round of the half with Global Dystopia still only 1 point on the board, but man, are they close to putting a couple more points up there.
You know, with an early frag, nades themselves. The Mad Dog goes down. Big refrag there on the B side. It's only up to Fizz, who is trading some shots here with Pop-Tart. The scan will go down. They're pushing up to the top side of B. They're scanning it. No, Beardy goes down. Scanner drops to the floor.
And there it is. The half locked in. A 7-1 solid performance from Acer as we swap sides and they go on the attack. And doesn't it feel like Acer's been setting the pace already? Because, man, those 8 rounds went by quick, chum.
Knight, I think I might be believing them after that interview. You know, a lot of teams they feel really confident having trained for so long, but I think there's some merit to what they were saying now. This is I have not seen Acer play like this.
They're locked in. They are postseason Acer. They are
Very
at
much
home.
so.
They've got that home field advantage. They're not at the LAN event this time, and they're in their comfort zones right now as they perform pretty good. But the side swap might be what Dystopia need. They can settle in, control the pace a little bit on defense. Ideally not have early picks come through, but Mad Dog connects onto LMK.
Let me know had a really good early nade and push through from Bunker, but look at that. I mean, they're just shutting them down. Let me know consistently on mid. 4 versus 5 for the Global Dystopia team. Never mind. Down goes Tabby. 3 versus 5. Acer, they're on the B site. Where's the collapse? They're a little bit late to it.
And 5 strong and healthy on the Acer side. Going to be pretty hard for the duo to overwhelm. And there it is. A pistol round locked in that takes us to map point for our map 1 opening best of 3. Acer, undefeated so far in the regular season, 12-0, are showing why they're undefeated. Their coordination, their skill with the guns, it is on point. 11-2 from Kodiak, 10-5 from Mad Dog, leading the charge for what is an Acer 8-1 lead.
I don't even know if this makes any sense, but I think we went live with the game. I think the game started about 10 minutes ago. And we're already here. Map point. Early nades there on Skate. They go far down. They do connect with Neuro, but they're only scathed. Look at that headshot. Let me know is the first to die consistently. Another nade from Kodiak and Fizz artillery strike. Back to the trenches.
Watch out. Acer is here to win. They know that there's this large prize pool on the line of $5,500. And if there's ever a time to execute, if there's ever a time to put all of their skills together that they've developed in this game, it's now.
Huge double kill from Tabby there on the top of the B site. But look, Taquito will resume their place. They hear footsteps from Beardy. They're swinging around the corner. Taquito peeks perfectly. Beardy shut down. AK-12 in hand. Acer bring it 9-1 here on map 1, Kitty.
Yeah, maybe record time, who knows, but nonetheless, a fast map 1 win locked in by Acer, 9-1 on Kitty. Not what, well, I guess maybe what folks expected, quite frankly. I think a lot of folks anticipating Acer to be Acer, and this is Acer. This is them playing at their top of the game, and Dystopia have a little bit of a task ahead of them. Kitty may have been sort of the off-meta pick. How does Suna and Miru look for them statistically? That's the question. And again, it's hard to really gauge, right? Because Dystopia, we remember looking back at their interview, had a rough opening to their season. They lost some games that they argued they shouldn't have necessarily lost, maybe because of roster issues. They're now in a bit more of a comfortable position. So does that mean that their statistics on Suna or Miru are accurate? Can we rely on that? I don't know, but Chum, I'll let you inform us. What do they look like for Global Dystopia?
I'm taking a look. Miru and Suna, just looking at the round win rate, just on paper, it looks like Miru is going to be their best bet with a 53% round win rate compared to Suna's 47%. And as expected, Acer's 12-0 track record in Season 2 lets them have these incredible percentage. Listen to this. On Mirror, they have 92% win rate. On Suna, even better, 100%. They've never lost Suna. So,
That is...
you know, but there is a little bit of nuance. They've played Miru slightly more than Suna, and they have a slightly lower round win rate. So it could be their weakness, this Miru 92% win rate. It could be.
My question that comes after this is, will Cope and Rect be ready to play so soon? Because that was a fast map 1, and I think we're getting ready to jump into map 2 shortly here.
Right.
The series could be done before you know it. Ideally, Global Dystopia will have something to say about that and push us to a map 3 decider, but you know, like we've been saying, even if Acer loses a map, it's kind of a big deal. And now is the time for them to kind of sweep, go 2-0. They want to go up against Rect. That's kind of where their focus seems to be, Chum.
No, yeah, absolutely. I just want to touch on Global Dystopia's progress during Season 2. I really want to make sure that, you know, we know that Global Dystopia, they have actually been growing. You know, they tied, as we heard in the interview just a few minutes ago, Global Dystopia tied with Determined despite having lost that matchup in Week 1. And for those who may be unaware, Determined was a pretty high-level team consistently in the postseason for the preseason of VAIL and the first season. They're a big team, and after Global Dystopia tied with them in early of Season 2, they felt a lot more confidence. They started growing as a team, especially after the con, having energized their motivations to keep playing and just their joy of enjoying the competitive experience in VAIL. I don't know if they had much time to even absorb what just happened, because I don't know, me casting, I'm not moving my body, I'm sitting down in a chair, I'm watching this. I don't know if they had enough time to kind of realize what just happened here on Kitty.
That was about 10 one-minute rounds.
Yeah, it was really fast. So I'm not sure whether, I don't know what they can, you know, learn from this. It happened so fast. I still need time to process.
Yeah, and we are doing some lobby switch-ups, I assume, on the Dystopian side. I don't think so, though. Maybe we just had to have a quick headset reconnect. Yeah, but either way, we should be getting into map 2 shortly. And I just want to look again at the KDs, 12-2 and 10-6 from Kodiak and Mad Dog. But Tabby was up there with 10 kills. And like I said, Dystopia were fighting. You know, they were finding kills throughout that series. So I think there's a chance that they can bounce back and contest a little bit more on these maps. But man, if there's ever a powerhouse in this league, it's Acer. You know, and if there's ever a team to contend them, I feel like it's Rect. And maybe it's Cope. I mean, honestly, Cope's sitting at 3rd place with a solid, I think, 9-3 record compared to Rec's 9-2. You know, that series is going to be fantastic, and it comes up right after this. And so if Acer have anything to say about it, that series will be starting in about 25 minutes from now. But if they don't, and Global Dystopia can bounce back, we'll see. Suna is where we decide the fate of our teams this afternoon. Which team advances on for a chance at, well, which team guarantees themselves $2,300 in cash, because second place comes away with that, and which team gets the chance at $5,500 plus hardware. It's a lot on the line at the end of the day, and we are mere moments away from starting our series. We do have a bit of a warm-up session going on here, I think, as they sort players on to the proper sides, but statistically, Suna isn't exactly where Global Dystopia want to be going up against Acer, is it?
We don't know. I mean, Kitty is a map that Global Dystopia has played the least of in season. Well, no, it was one of their least played maps in Season 2. So maybe just how fast it went. Maybe they didn't have enough time to adjust. I think Global Dystopia will find more of a foothold here now defending the 2 sites on Suna map 2. I think they'll adjust.
We're now into our opening round. No warm-ups as both teams set up. Dystopia awaiting what is seemingly a B-site push. As we have 3 stacked up on the back end there, looking to rotate down long B, and an interesting bit of a push from LMK, trying to catch Acer off guard, but Acer are prepared for all scenarios, so it seems, as they do deny that flank its access, and ultimately Pop-Tarts for Life doesn't decide to press too much farther down through pipes.
Tabby greatly damaged from that nade blast. Oh my gosh. Neuro finds a headshot onto Beardy, and it's all left up to Tabby here to push with Pop-Tart. Smoke goes down, immediately down goes Tabby. Headshot by Neuro, 2 kills so far. Down goes another Juke. It's all left up to Pop-Tart. Oh, Kodiak.
Not promising. If you're going with Dystopia, 5 alive on the attack for Acer on Suna to open things up. And yeah, Acer is plain and simply dominating their way through so far this afternoon. I think the pace is going to be kept up here as we get rifles into the hands, and we'll see how their push to what seemingly could be B-site again goes.
I think we have to look at LMK just for a second, because LMK consistently has been pushing out, lurking, very aggressive, kind of their secret weapon, not so secret maybe. And Acer has been consistently being able to counter LMK's positioning and movements. Now they're holding back. They're really holding back. We see 3 of Acer, including the scan holder, pushing up onto B. Quick engagement there on the mid. It's a trade. Down goes Beardy, a headshot by Kodiak. AK-12. Here comes B. Acer mouth is wide open.
Yeah, gonna be tough as Juke manages to catch one down the long angle. Tabby trying to find some shots through the smokes. Pop-Tarts for Life does. And they chip down and whittle down this offensive Acer to just 2, who are gonna back off that B-site push. Once that smoke dissipates, they do not want to challenge those 3/4 angles. And instead are going to try and rotate. Now Juke has to try and catch this rotation as they do hold on to that utility and wait to hear these footsteps to push up through this middle port.
As soon as they lost Neuro, they really lacked, they lost confidence in the play. Neuro not having been the top fragger on map 1 Kitty, they still didn't feel confident in just pushing Julian and Kodiak. But here comes a big push by Julian. Footsteps will be heard. Juke crouching. Where's the peek? Juke's not peeking. This is huge. Tabby goes down because Juke's not peeking. Peek too late. They get tagged. No, they don't get tagged. They're still okay.
Kodiak is trying to fend off what is a multi-prong pinch here. They've got what they know in front, and the knife out is risky. Kodiak doesn't have a lot of time. I guess 5 seconds to take down as they scoop up 1 kill, swing around for the scanner plant, and no, not enough time. Literally about 2 seconds away. If they had popped out for Pop-Tart's Life, maybe they could have caught it in time, but hey, it's a rifle round, and Dystopia put the point on the board on defense. They're back.
Heart-stopping moment there after Tabby went down, just Juke being a little bit too conservative there on the A site. But luckily, yeah, Kodiak did run out of time. So that's 1 point in the pocket of Global Dystopia. We'll see where this scanner goes. It's wanting B for now.
Defense definitely, I think, a little bit more favored on a map like Suna, but a good offense, coordinated and in sync, can make defending very challenging on this map.
After that smoke placement, Acer seemed to have gotten spooked. Beardy is on the backside of B. Flash out, does not catch anyone. Very tentative, very careful, very methodical movement here by these 3 Acer players. Here comes a peek by Beardy, will be spotted. Nothing connects though. A little overcooked nade, but nothing that Kodiak's AK-12 can't fix. A flash goes out on the corner that will momentarily stop them.
Really nice flash there, but Achilles scoops up 1 long-range battle, goes the way of Kodiak down the long angle, and it leaves just Tabby alone. In a 1v5, and Acer say, okay, you got your round, now we're back.
I mean, Biz's peek there out on the A side is absolutely perfect, just pinching off any last straggling defenders, and there's the trade. Julian and Tabby headshotted out, 2 points now on the board for Acer, a good start.
indeed. If I were Rector Cope, I would certainly be warming up for my series, which will start shortly after this. Of course, we do also have Rect and Cope interviews. If you do want to stick around at the end of this series and before the beginning of the Rect and Cope series, we'll be getting a little deep dive into those rosters, those teams, and at least a few of the members on them. Ooh, and another opening kill. Achilles catches LMK through the middle. Tabby trying to throw and catch off this Acer offense by pushing up and extending forward, but only ends up in a trade 1-for-1.
Achilles at the moment, a beautiful nade toss there by Beardy, or it could have been Pop-Tart. Achilles has at 1 health. The team captain goes down. Juke finally puts an end to that. Mid is clear. They have control of pipes, and now it's all left up to 2 here, and Fizz there all the way on mid. Sorry, Julian all the way there on mid. Kodiak still putting in some trouble onto the B side. Is actually going to push on it, but Scanner is headed towards A.
Yeah, clearly trying to draw the attention of these teams away from what is the Scanner, rotating right into Juke's line of sight as Juke springs out. Beardy catches their kill, and Acer are cut down to Nero. And what is a really nice retake comes together. Dystopia say, hey, we'll get a second point. How about that? I think I saw in chat someone predicted 9-2, which could be the case for sure, but this is a game of really, in my opinion, rhythm for Dystopia. If they can settle into something, if they can catch themselves kind of feeling good and not thinking about Acer being Acer, then we could very well see some magic happen in the postseason.
Duke really was the one there on round 4 who really put a stop to that Acer. They got a kill there on B, they got a kill on mid, they got a kill on the last player, Neuro. Here comes a nade toss, won't catch anybody there. It's a 4-player stack here at the bottom of B. This is gonna be very potent for just 1 player to counter.
Swing out for Fizz. Grabs 1. Pop-Tarts for life tucked in the B site. Waiting to push up and toss out here. Nice flash that doesn't catch anyone, and Fizz's nade does. All that's left is Juke rotating in from A site, and 5 alive through the round. Acer dominating rounds that they win, and Global Dystopia scraping away with the wins that they can manage. Interesting dynamic here, but nonetheless, it's still close, 2-3 in our second map.
They really, Global Dystopia really needed that kill onto Achilles, who was there hiding out near the pipes. If they got rid of Achilles, that crash back onto the B side would have been a whole lot easier. But yeah, no, the Acer, they have such great gun game. LMK actually pushing out very aggressive there. Acer seemed to be aware. No, they push out, overextending. Fizz catches them off. It's up to Beardy to stave off the 3-player push here. Scanner included, now make it 4, pushing on to B.
Yeah, they do have 1, but a nice kill from Beardy makes it a little more even, 2v3 now, as they go to reinforce. Achilles trying to gain control of pipes, but can't. He's backed off by the utility toss. Meanwhile, the push coming in. The smoke here. Fizz catches 1. Kodiak with the refrag. Keeps it to a 2-for-1 trade, and the push coming in. Kodiak's going to vault up and over. The pipes defense is still here, trying to buy time for no rotation that's going to come in because the kill came in from Julian on the backside. So Scanner goes down, and Acer try and fend off Pop-Tarts.
Look at Achilles pushing up through the pipes. Pop-Tarts is getting pinched. Kodiak has a line, AK-12. No time for Achilles to get the kill. Oh my gosh. I mean, what I'm seeing here tonight is that Acer, when they peek a site, they peek 2 crosshairs, always 2 crosshairs. When they want to plant B and they're pushing on in, through all the chaos of the util, the haze, the noise, they always have 2 crosshairs at the ready, not to mention the nades, the artillery fire onto the sites and the possible defensive positions. Really coordinated crosshair placement by the Acer squad.
Beardy again on the short corner trying to do some damage. Tabby actually opening things up to the middle is huge. Beardy is here, finds 1, 2, almost made 3. The double is pretty nice nonetheless.
And with 1 trigger pull, they've gotten rid of the majority of the most dangerous Acer players look at
my.
Julian, though, responding right back. A nade onto Beard. That's a big frag, but Tabby is so low. 2 health now.
This was 2v5, and they've chipped it down to 2v3, and Julian's rotating for what is A site controlled by Acer.
With LMK pushing out so aggressive, I think Global Dystopia are onto them, and actually, if Tabby pushes hard enough, they could catch Julian off guard. It is Fizz who's waiting on the A site. But the plant could actually come out. No one's actually on the site itself. Smoke out onto the lane, a defensive smoke as well.
Utility coming in to zone them off a little bit. Also going to slow things down. That nade and LMK connecting are pretty dang huge, and there's still Fizz here. He's trying to hold down the 1v3 and can't. LMK catches the kill. Global Dystopia put a third on the board. They are absolutely contesting Acer here in map 2. And, I mean, that was a dominant defensive round from Global Dystopia. They had 5 alive when only 2 were left for Acer. They looked very good finding those early kills and ultimately managed to take that retake confidently. So it's only a 1-point lead here when we get to the final round of the half.
Yeah, it's all thanks to Beardy. You know, Beardy relied on Acer just not fixing what wasn't broken. And just like that, they got the double kill onto Neuro and Kodiak again. They're the wonder duo. I don't know what else to call them. They tend to push together all the time. They just feel that synergy between them. And Beardy, you know, relied on that, used that, and got that double kill to give them that defensive round. But look at this smoke push onto the A side. Kodiak blazing. AK-12, they're chasing down Juke. They find a triple kill. Unbelievable. It's all left up to Beardy and Pop-Tart. Never mind.
That the ace?
I think it was a 4K.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
14 and 2 is pretty good too, I guess. That is a heck of a performance from Kodiak to put Acer up 5-3 on the side swap.
It is a very finely tuned balance of kind of a gamble, or it is intel. Like, am I able to push super aggressive here? And Kodiak tends to know exactly how to and where to apply the pressure. Early nade onto Tabby. Julian finding a pistol kill. Down goes LMK. 2 left on Global Dystopia, and they're coughing through the smoke.
Julian's here for more. They'll find 3 kills with their pistol before Fizz cleans things up. And now Acer are settling into their comfort zone on defense, at least for that pistol round. They've got a nice 3-point lead here and are 3 away from advancing on to 2,300 guaranteed dollars in cash.
It's it's Fizz and Kodiak that are the tried and true guns. I mean, they are really explosively taking apart the Global Dystopia push. Fizz, an early lurk spot with a smoke deployed. LMK will be able to pass by, though, without coughing. Fizz will be ready for it, though. It's a 4-player push, stacking up, bottom of B.
A lot of utility coming in as Nero waits for it. Also seems like maybe a bit of a rotation. Juke gonna drop off. Maybe he thought the team was rotating out, but they're not. As they do come back for another smoke toss, and the play definitely seems to be to push up towards B.
There's Fizz finding LMK. Neuro, the tried and true B site player, is juking these nades, dodging these bullets. They have been tagged once, but they're still at a majority health. They find a clean headshot straight onto Juke. They want another. There it is.
Tabby shuts down Fizz on the flank. A pretty nice shutdown. That sets Neuro up to push out. They go down in the trade. And now Tabby's alone. In a 1v3, getting shot from the back, shot from the front. Not a lot of options presenting themselves, and ultimately Acer 2 away from taking the map 2 and series.
That was Neuro putting in 3 blows, and Kodiak with the last nail in the coffin. Acer, it makes sense that they're 4 points ahead.
Sure does. And a reminder that after this map, if Acer do win, they will be advancing on to the grand finals tomorrow. But the loser gets to play for their chance at 3rd place before that, tomorrow morning. So a lot of games left ahead of us. We also do have Rect and Cope still left today in this best of 3. So a lot of top tier Veil in front of us to go as Neuro fends off and swings out for a double. Tries to make it more than that as they pick up 3.
Could it make it 4? Juke is still up and running. Free fires through. They're up against Fizz, one of the top fraggers for Acer, and they're retreating back. The smoke to their advantage, deploying a second one. No, oh, Fizz nearly sees them. Juke, New in the Matrix, 1 HP left.
Can't fend off the Fizz push, and ultimately, as we take a look at that replay, the triple kill from Neuro sets them up beautifully. The swing out, the cross, on the move through the smoke, almost finds all 4. That would have been one way to shut them down, but hey, it still works and puts Kodiak still at the lead, but Fizz right behind him with 2 kills, 15 and 2 for Kodiak, 13 and 5 for Fizz.
I feel like editing all the highlight reels for the weekly highlights and, you know, a little bit of the other NA ones. Neuro, I think I have like 6 clips of him getting multiple, like multi-kills there on the B side, like peaking aggressive. But this time, Global Dystopia, they're focusing manpower here on the A site. Smokes line in the hallway, on the cargo crates, but the scanner, it's bottom of B.
And I gotta wonder if Neuro's gonna be ready, because he's been ready so far today. Nice nade though from Juke, shuts them down, finally gets control of the site, and Juke swings out for a wonderful double. Dystopia trying to push up and stay alive, want to get that 4th point, want to push this to an 8-8, and it's gonna come down to Juke doing it alone now in a 1v3.
Juke, oh,
No.
wasn't
It's
ready for Achilles on the
Achilles.
back.
They find the kill. They will get the scanner interrupt, and Acer will become our first qualifier into the grand finals in Season 2 for North America. A dominant performance in Map 1 that leads them into a clean victory in Map 2. And our undefeated champions remain undefeated, chum.
That's kind of scary. I think I'm speaking on behalf of maybe the silent majority. That's pretty unnervingly scary.
Yeah.
Really great work from Acer. Unbelievable performance here in the semis. Let's see what they bring to the table. Will it be Cope or will it be Wrecked? We're hearing some some callbacks to VRML Con, an encore of Acer versus Wrecked here for Season 2 as well.
Yeah, I mean, you heard it in the interview. Acer want the rematch. They want to go up against Wrecked again, and I think a lot of folks want to see it happen. And that'll be determined in our next best of 3, Wrecked versus Cope. The winner goes up against Acer in the grand finals tomorrow. The loser battles it out for 3rd place tomorrow morning. A lot of games ahead of us this weekend, but only one best of 3 left. You're not going to want to go anywhere because we do have exclusive interviews of both teams coming up right now between Wrecked and Cope, and then Map 1 will begin. It's only, we're at the midway point of the semis, so don't go anywhere. Welcome, everybody, to the VAIL VRML Final Four postseason interview. I am here with Cope. I have Stormy and Keezy. Stormy, why don't you introduce yourself, tell us something about you, what you do on the team.
Hello, my name's Stormy, and I'm the team's favorite cheerleader.
Go ahead, and Keezy.
I go by Keezy, and I would like to think of myself as probably one of the best IGLs in the game. I just IGL it, bro. Everybody else handles the work, man.
The best IGL in the game. But did you expect to be here, Keezy, at the start of your season? Did you think Cope would be in the Final Four?
Absolutely. I mean, in the beginning with the team that I had, I did think so, yes. Then, if you can see on VRML, half our team left and then created another team. So in the middle of the season, I had to take 2 weeks inactive, and we were 4-1 at that time. And from there, I had to rebuild with just me and Jacob, honestly. And that's why I was hoping could still be here. But right now he's on vacation. Regardless, he was. I built back around, him. And after that, we got Bola back, and Small's out here dropping 20 every day, like it's his day job. So past yeah, when I have those guys around me, absolutely, I think we can do anything. It's just about the timing, how much work we put in.
Stormy, what was maybe one of the harder parts for you, coming into the team this season?
Well, like I've been on like very low level teams, like not like I never expected to be like a top 4 team because like I don't know, I came from like top 10 teams to like these type of teams like top 4, so really did not expect anything.
What was the best moment, Keezy, for you of the season? What really stood out to you as like maybe a highlight for you?
I'm not gonna lie, making it to these semis, man. So, situation. The reason why I didn't play in challengers last season is because I had 2 players that were in like tornadoes at the time.
Oh my god!
So we didn't get to play in challengers cups, right? So we didn't even get a chance to compete. And then this time around, it was like going through. We wanted to make playoffs, and we had to go through DYS to do that, and that was not an easy task. Shout out to those guys; they are a really good team. And for us to do that, I think that was probably like the biggest highlight for me, being able to make it top 4 when I don't think anybody thought we would.
Yeah,
that's what the whole squad is.
It was a lot of fun to watch. Definitely a shout out to you and Cope and the team for persevering through that. Stormy, what are you doing with the team? What are you doing to prepare for this weekend? What have you been doing? I suppose you're kind of out of time at this point.
Yeah. This week's been pretty rough on us. Like, I don't know, the availability's been like pretty low.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, like care. So I just played a lot more, try to get my aim back, which is kind of coming back. So I should be good for semifinals. And yeah, just been playing a lot of ranked matchmaking.
Yeah. Keezy,
and pubs.
What about you?
Yeah, me. I think the last 48 hours, I've been more so trying to get the team together. Like I said, we have 2 people on vacation at the moment, so if we end up not being able to do what we want to do, it's pain.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when these kids are on break, I can't do anything about it. But what I will say is, I've been in VMM something fierce and aim trainer like it's my day job. So I've been putting probably about a good 4 to 5 hours in a day to make sure that we can, say we can't compete tomorrow, that we are competing.
Awesome. Stormy, I'll start with you. Any shout outs to the folks that are watching, to the community, the people that are tuning in?
Well, I was gonna quit the game at the beginning of the season, but I had a good team. Moon Astronaut, if he's on Zeal, they're both on Zeal, Loop Doop and Moon. They kind of kept me in the game, and then stuff happened on the team. Then we all went separate ways. I guess those 2.
Keezy, how about you?
Guys. I would like to first, I'm gonna wave and say hi, Mom, and hi, Jacob, while you're on vacation when you finally get back to see this. And past that, I like everybody that's played on my team this season. I appreciate everybody. Without them, we wouldn't be here, even if we did offshoot and make different teams. So word to Tanky, word to Panda, word to Wraith, Muffins. That was my OG team to begin with. So it was beautiful to see us still beat that suits now. To see them still competing and everything like that is kind of dope. So if we do end up in that 3rd place situation to play for that, I do believe we play them. So it's going to be a kick for sure.
Be a lot of fun. A lot of good games coming up this weekend. Thank you guys for taking the time to chat with me. I'm sure you gotta go back to aim training. We'll be catching you guys playing hopefully soon this weekend in the semifinals, in which case the best of luck to you. But until then, we're off.
Thank you, man. GG's.
Hello and welcome, everybody. I am here with the Wrecked Squad, former Season 1 champions. We'll go down the line with intros. Just tell me your name and your role on the team.
I'm Risertron. I'm the main IGL of the team. I'm also the captain. I'm kind of the guy that, keeps the team intact. I'm like the glue of the team, you could say.
I'm Rusty. I was Rex's new pickup. And basically all I've really been doing for the team is just kind of keeping everyone active and keeping the playtime going.
Did you expect to be here, at the start of the season? What were some of the challenges with your new roster?
Yes and no. I knew like if we got everything like figured out, we would be here again. But there was like also some doubt because we're like, hey, half of the team's just gone. We're picking up just people off the sidewalk asking to join. But I mean, here we are. We're back. Third time being in like finals like this. So I mean, it's an expectation for us.
When I joined VAIL, I heard that there wasn't as much like mobility, and I understood that you kind of had to really be shaking up like the game when you come in very quickly, and I knew I was somewhat capable of that. So I had a kind of idea in my mind that I'd at least within a season or two be on one of the top teams.
How did the postseason go overall for you? Is this where you thought you would end up? You know, is this where you anticipated to be at the start of the season?
I mean, it went like same way last season went, so like kind of, yeah. Like, I mean, it kind of almost is like deja vu. We're going through the same thing all over again. So I mean, we're used to it. So it literally feels like last season all over again.
Obviously, there's a major difference between playing live on stage and being, back at home. How does that feel, to have that sort of home field advantage now?
Well, that obviously feels better because then we're on like our own computers and like we're at home too. Like it's more comfortable playing like at home rather than just being in like basically being in public almost. That's how you describe it. I would prefer being at home than in like a stage, but stage obviously is cool. It's just I feel more comfortable playing VR at home. So,
when I first started playing this game, it was during the MVM era, and I was kind of on one of the teams that was really trying to get in there, and a lot went wrong. So I'm hoping to try to fix that going down the line, get on that stage.
What are you practicing for? How are you preparing? What are you doing to get ready for these finals? I mean, it's coming up.
I mean, as a team on the team level, we're just trying to get like scrims in, get practices in, trying to scrim as much as we can, just getting our teamwork up. Like we haven't really been together recently due to like all the holidays coming up. So we're just trying to like stick in like just get some like team chem back, get scrims in. And then on a personal level, I know a lot of us are just trying to get into some TDMs, getting matchmaking, just making sure we feel comfortable going into finals and that it's not like we're playing a whole new game.
Rusty, how are you preparing? Are you rusty?
Oh, well, that's always the question I'm being asked is, am I rusty? Well, right now, currently, I'm actually going to have to be playing finals and semis, and if we make it to finals from a completely different state, completely different setup. So I'm just trying to get some TDMs in on this different computer I'm running on and everything. Try to get used to the new play area. That's what I've been doing for like the past couple days.
Anything to shout out, anything you want to say to the community? This is maybe the last moment you'll get.
I did this last season. I'm going to do it again. Shout out Rocco Tabacco.
Love to see it. Rusty, anyone to shout out, anything like that to the community?
I would like to shout out Acer, because they were really the people that got me into playing VAIL. I was originally on their Hyperdash team, and they really helped me get good fast. And, well, I wouldn't be on Rec without them. And I would also like to thank them for really offering an opportunity to really be going against people who are the best of the best. And they're good competition, and you can't get good unless you have other people there to rival against you.
Totally agree. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to chat with me this afternoon. Best of luck to you in your matches this weekend. You should have some tough ones if things go well, and so I'm looking forward to it. But thanks for joining us. We'll be back into the action shortly. Don't go anywhere. thank you all for patiently waiting at home for the final series of the afternoon. It is Rect versus Cope, and we got some nice insights into the squads there, Chum, with the interviews. Appreciate them taking the time to chat with me, but obviously Rect coming in from a lot of experience, winning 9-3 in the course of the regular season, coming out second place, coming off of a VRML Con Season 1 victory. I mean, they are a team to beat, to say the least. Acer arguably the team to beat at 12-0. But still, I think Rector a squad that could do it. And Cope, kind of the underdogs this afternoon in my eyes.
I think they are as well. We heard it from the kind of the leadership of Cope. They went under team restructuring a little bit more recently and a little bit more significantly than Rect. It seems like Rusty being a new pickup for the Rect side. We'll see how that pans out. I mean, I feel like we have to point out Cope is here for a reason, right? I mean, they won points, they won rounds, they won maps against other teams in the close qualifiers with just 4 players, and they were able to do that because they have really talented, really top high-level fraggers. So we're gonna see Rect being challenged by, as Rusty put it, the best of the best. It's kind of one of the VRML catchphrases there in Breachers, but I think we have to use it for VAIL too. This really is the best of the best, and Rect clearly they won Season 1 VRML Con championships because they were the best of the best.
Yeah, and and the Cope's side, we look at the regular season. 7-3 is also very good. That's a solid seasonal performance in front of them. Honestly, pretty equivalent to Rec's 9-3 in my mind, but the postseason is the true test, and Cope have fought their way here, obviously battling through the round robin. They now get their chance at one of the big dogs, arguably Rect and Acer, the two teams that are you're going to have to fight the hardest to beat. And I got to wonder if Cope have come prepared. I mean, let's take a look at the Acer matchup in the EU space, where we definitely saw their opponent well prepared for Acer EU. They were ready for a lot of the strategies, trying to throw off meta positions at them, and I kind of feel like Cope might have a chance of finding some success if they can surprise Rect with some sort of out of the box choices. We've got everyone in lobby. We are ready to go, and I will let them know that we are.
The last time Cope and Rect went against each other, that was week 10. It was a week 10 matchup, and Rect won. They won 27 to Cope's 19 points. Rect won all 3 maps, but I think what's of note is that, as Keezy said, who is the Cope leadership, that was pretty much a completely different roster. Over 50% of those players on that week 10 of season 2 Cope roster is not here. We have Hasbulla, we have Almaz, we have Smalls, and we have Keezy. And we have a few others that may not be playing. Maybe they will be subbed in at some point. But Stormy and Hero are new names. We'll see how it goes for Cope. I have a lot of faith that we're going to see some incredible moments. And yeah, those I think it was 3 or 3 knife kills between Acer and Global Dystopia was crazy as it is. I think it's going to get even crazier now. Seriously.
Yeah, and part of me is reserving my expectation to be that maybe Rect are just going to dominate. Maybe Rect are going to come out much like we saw Acer with maybe one of the fastest map wins I've seen all season long at like 10 or 15 minutes. That can happen. 9 rounds can be won in a flash, and if you're not careful, if you let your opponent get momentum in the postseason, even Rect can find themselves in a space that they aren't expected, where Cope are kind of running away with the energy. So again, we are just waiting on a reconnect from, I think, Basil Maz, which would make the full roster of Rect: Akari, Rusty, Shears, Tarmac, and Basil. And over on Cope, yeah, we've already kind of broken that down, but yeah, I think it's going to be interesting with Haz, Keezy, Stormy, You Killing Me, Smalls, and Hero all duking it out. Solid players. They've played well over this postseason, and we're very much looking forward to getting in to this first map. A big shout out to our sponsors. Axe Labs contributing in $10,000 to VRML, making this prize pool what it is today. First place takes away $5,500 in cash. Second place comes away with $2,200. It's a good chunk of change at the end of the day, and not something to scoff at. It's got to be something that is on the minds of these players as the pressure mounts. And interestingly enough, Basil has dropped out and Tarmac's in for the wrecked roster. And much like in our first series of the day, we're headed to Kitty to kick this thing off.
One or two maps of regular season play, so I'm curious to see how both of these, rosters end up showing off, but not even showing off, but also kind of deceiving each other, right? Because at this point, both of these rosters have done some intel, some level of intel. Obviously, intel on Cope is going to be a little bit harder to find, but especially Cope, we'll see what kind of strats they throw at Wrecked here now on their offensive push. Seems that there will be a round reset. Uh-oh.
Round starting. Get ready.
I don't know what to make of that.
Yeah, do bear with us. I do think that we are going to go into some kind of technical restart. But I can't be sure what the play is. And we do apologize for the issues. I really don't know what the problem is, unfortunately.
I think they're asking for a round reset.
Right. But again, I'm not sure for what purpose at this point.
Seems that they are communicating with hand gestures here. Smalls is asking for a reset, and they will have it.
I think we're okay. But, yeah, we do apologize for that technical delay. I don't know why the message I got was that they didn't have 5 at the start of the round, but I definitely saw 5 loaded in at the start of the round. So I'm not sure what they were not seeing, but hopefully we're all good now. And we are getting into our actual start of the round. We do apologize for the technical difficulties, but they do happen from time to time. So we are all set now as Cope are all loaded in and ready to go for round number 1 of map 1.
A little bit of mystery, a little bit of anticipation. I like it. I like it. As long as everything is good on the side of Cope now, pushing officially on round 1. Pistols out. Team scanners headed up gate. Action's bound to happen.
Smokes are out. Teams are pushing in. And the site is held nicely by Psykillo. The first nade connecting as the trio does push up through these smokes. Psykillo hearing all of this audio. Tries to pick up both, but only gets none. They'll go down. Enough damage done for Rusty to pick up a kill. Keezy with a quick refrag. Shots connect onto the back for big damage onto the duo who make it to site. But we're into a 3v3.
Keezy, gets taken out. Tarmac pushing out. They are aware of another one. They will get the headshot. Unbelievable flank around from Skate all the way behind. It's all lift up the Smalls. Clutch this back. Defuse has begun.
Nice effort there from Smalls, and Shears will find the final kill, but a nice hold from Rekt, opening things up 1-0 as they start the snowball potentially on defense. We'll have to see what Cope put together as we get rifles into the hands now and dive into round number 2. But the initial B-site play doesn't work out too well. Those pistol rounds are tough, though. They are hard to determine or use to determine how a series is going to unfold. We've said that plenty of times today already, and I definitely think that pistol round wins do not mean that you're going to win the series, if that's any indicator of last series against Acer.
Like that, Stormy gets tagged and Rusty falls back. Sai is still under full control of the B site, puts a time nade right onto the arch, and Tarmac gets refragged by Keezy. It's a 3 versus 4 for the Cope squad as Rusty now rotates along the rib. Sai maybe out of a nade.
Hero trying to catch some kills up through this long angle, gets forced off by the duo, and the rotation right into Akari for a double kill. Absolutely shutting down any hope of the scanner moving. And Hero will go down to Shears. It's Rekt up 2-0 early. Nice defensive hold there to catch that rotation out. And it's a common lane utilized, especially for the offensive team to rotate from one side to another. So if you can't identify that team is trapped down in Skate Park rotating to B, then you can shut down that line from being viable. So a great job from Akari there. And it's got to be something now that Cope are thinking about. Next time they want to rotate, they'll remember that they got caught out trying to do it.
We're seeing some good, good gun skills from the Cope squad, but it's the team dynamic from Rekt that are really putting a wrench into the works. Down goes Stormy, Akari with a sneaky flank. They do get pre-fired. No one's there. Look at that. It's Rusty going up head-to-head with 2 of Coke. Big swing by Smalls does land a kill. SMG as always with Smalls. 3 versus 2 for the Rekt squad. They have the numbers advantage. Look at Akari.
Yeah, Smalls definitely coughing on that smoke given his positioning. The nade jumped up and tossed but doesn't connect. Smalls low on HP. On site, trying to draw this defense over to it, and the scanner held into the full HP hands of Haas.
Tarmac will hear these footsteps. The call-out should be coming out, and look at that wombo combo. Akari with the headshot. Tarmac, the AK-12, puts a very definitive 3rd point here on the board for map 1 between Rekt and Cope. It's looking good for Rekt.
Akari with a real dangerous, aggressive position on that front line at A, ends up really disrupting any hope of Cope pushing up to that A site. And the fact that they stacked A even hurts them more. So the aggressive defense of Rekt pays off, and Cope are learning that Rekt are not afraid to apply pressure even in the postseason.
We've seen how aggressive pushes like that really can really go completely wrong, like we saw with Global Dystopia, but Akari showing us a masterclass of kind of deceiving and understanding expectations of these really high-level competitive players on Cope. Oof, but look, Hero, no time for the shenanigans. Quick headshot. The A site looking a little bit clearer, but you can't be too sure. Shears has a line.
Nice nade, almost bounced off right into Shears' face, but it's a little short, and Shears will swing, realizing where that nade came from to catch their kill. A nice pickup that shuts down an initial advance to A, and ends up stalling a little bit of this offense on their rotation, which is getting caught out by Tarmac to some degree. Both Shears and Tarmac go down, and now there's nobody home to hold things down.
That sacrifice was worth it. 4 players up. Cope have found momentum. They could score their first point here in this match in the semifinals. Scanner's down, 36 seconds. Rusty and has do trade up in mid. It's only 1 defender, Sai.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be... They will find 1, though. They should read where that nade came from to try and adapt off of that. Keezy not out in the open, so going to be tough, but they do read Keezy on the other side of the wall. Try and hit him with the nade and don't quite miss. If they had got that kill with the nade, it would have been the last kill on the Smalls. I think that would have been tough regardless. And Cope are on the board, shutting down Erect from running away with this thing too much. But their offensive half does not start too hot. A 2-point lead they got to chip away at still. And we're into the 5th round of the half.
Yeah, that was tough for Psy. I mean, you know, they're so used to controlling the B side, having to rotate all the way around across the map. It's going to be tough. I mean, they heard some footsteps and they were able to pinpoint. They tried to throw an aid, but as you said, it did not connect. If that did connect, Psy would have had enough time to actually stick to the defuse. Another nade does catch Keezy. That's brutal. Psy on a roll here on B.
Kilo swings out on the hunt for shots through the smoke. Doesn't connect. And Scanner is going to drop off of B. Now, information has been relayed. Tarmac is here to shut down a rotation from B to A, and they are going to try and collapse onto this team trapped in this corner.
But as always, Shears' trusty AK-12 coming in handy. A clean headshot to make it 3 of Cope left against 5 of Wrecked. Tarmac being really conservative. Finds the perfect opportunity. Rusty, a kill of their own. Smalls goes down and has left alone in skate. Another headshot from Rusty. 4-1 for Wrecked. They're coming really ahead now.
Yeah, and they're confident in themselves, obviously. You can see in the interview the team very familiar with playing at a high level for a long time. And they're bringing that experience in with them to this postseason. And again, with cash on the mind, it makes some teams play better. It makes others crumble under the pressure. Wrecked and Acer are definitely teams that have proven they can play under that pressure. We'll see if Cope are one of those teams that can as well.
No nades out on Bunker. And that, oh, never mind. Akari does connect with Smalls. That's 1 of the Cope squad out and back to the shuttle. 4 versus 5 for them. Scanner wants B-side, but they are, I believe, traumatized is the right word from Psykilo's nades onto the arc. I mean, it's like Psykilo is so brutal there. They're actually opting to take the other way to the side. They have to go up against Rusty. Down goes Tarmac, a clean headshot by Haz. Look at this, crossfire by Shears and Rusty.
Nice nade as Psykilo holds down the site. Scanner is on its way towards B, so Psykilo has got to swing around and catch out that rotation. They see it. Shots come in. Akari on a big flank, trying to pay dividends, but timing is everything. If they're too late, could be an avenue for Scanner to get planted as Hero and the duo work their way to site. Haz just needs to find Psykilo, who's holding things down. Hero trying to connect with their shots. The duo is split into 1v1s, and Psykilo wins theirs. It now means that Haz is to clutch the 1v2.
Haz's got quite the flick. Oh, they pick up the scan, but it goes nowhere. Back to the floor. 5-1 for Wrecked.
Wrecked are in good form, like you said. They are locked in. They have the in-game skins to prove their worth here. They are on the hunt for more. They want to win that cash. They want to take away HyperX prizing. They want to be that 2-time Wrecked VRML Season 2 championship.
Smalls pushing up through Bunker again, but look at this. Brute force. The majority of the Cope squad is pushing up through A. There will be Akari pushing up, but they're a little bit more conservative this time around. They seem to be wary of some kind of lurk position. There's the swing from Akari. Clean headshot onto Keezy. They want a second. No, Stormy shuts that down. It's a 4 versus 4. Even Stevens makes it 3 versus 4. 2. Jeez, these kills are coming too fast.
Fast and furious as Shears tries to hold things down with the smoke toss on the site to deter an EMP plant. There's still 4 alive to hold things down as that nade misses past Rusty's head, and Tarmac catches the kill onto Haas. Now alone, Shears tries to hold things down but gets pinched. Hero catches the trade, and ultimately 3 left alive for Wrecked. The final round of the half before we swap sides and go back to Pistols. Wrecked are looking to go 7-1, a lot like Acer did when they jumped onto this map in the first map of their best of 3.
Yeah, I was just about to say, this is giving me some deja vu. I mean, we've seen this before. But I just from, you know, personal experience, having played against these players and known them in the VRML community, this Cope squad, they are top fraggers. I mean, they are deadly shooters, but again, this wrecked coordination is so brutal. Another possible nade toss from Psy does not connect. They have breached the B site. Where's the reinforcement? Down they go. Hero pushing on through, big swing into a trade.
3 left alive to crash in on what is a solid hold from Cope onto the B site. They've got Stormy pushed up, ready to spring, and they'll catch the double on the full clip. And it's Cope putting a second point on the board, stopping the runaway train, and now swapping to defense with 2 offensive points.
And of all people, the scan holder actually finishes off the last 2 Rayab. That was, yeah, I mean, in their position, I would have been too scared. Hey, take this scanner, don't trust me with it. But Stormy felt really confident in their operating skills, and they were able to find that second point for Cope. I don't know what, yeah, look at Smalls, again, pushing on aggressive. This is very reminiscent of what we've seen Smalls do in previous matchups on cast, but also here in the postseason. No, they're being conservative.
They checked, they pushed up, they didn't find anything, and they've dropped back. They don't want to overextend. And dropping back's a little bit risky as you see the nades getting awfully close. Smalls scoops up Psykilla, who caught that nade frag and passed full health to fight for more, but a 1-for-1. Keezy still there to hold things down if they do decide to commit through that push through the smoke. And now there's only 2 left on Wrecked and 3 for Cope. The rotation's coming into A site.
Beautiful kill by Smalls, but yeah, a little bit of a coagulation, if I can say, here in the defense. They're really concentrated here on mid. Maybe one of them heard the rotation to the A side, and here's some firefights. 3 up. Scan has started. Here an SMG being pulled. Oh, down goes Tarmac. That's a big pick. It's all left up to Akari, finding a headshot onto the Hasbulla and Hero, bringing it to a 1v1. Keezy has the higher health. Where's the swing?
They're trying to play for time right now. Akari trying to buy out the right angle, and Keezy shuts it down. Cope put a 3rd point on the board as Keezy will get that scanner interrupt, and the lead gets whittled down bit by bit. Now only 3 points as we do put rifles back into the hands of the players, and no more pistols.
Maybe Cope is not going to fall into the same. They're not going to have the same fate as Global Dystopia. We'll see. We'll see. But they are definitely putting up a fight.
We shall see indeed as we do get into round number 10, our second round of the second half of map 1. If you are just tuning in, it's the last best of 3 of the day. We've got a few more tomorrow if you do want to catch that action with the EU Grand Finals. And then, of course, the Bronze and Grand Finals for NA. It's a big day tomorrow.
That's a big find by Rusty. Has does go down. AK-12 versus AK-12. There's a nade. Psykilla is just brutal with these nades. I mean, consistently landing true. They want the A site, it seems. Banner held by none other than Akari. Moves, no. They're reconsidering their options, pushing through the ribs. Down goes Stormy, the only defender on the B site. They have it.
Yeah, big kill from Rusty there. Gets them the site. And it's going to come down to Keezy pushing through, getting rid of Psykilla first, and then setting up their opportunities for the 2v3.
Beautiful positioning by Psykilla. Catching out Keezy, the team captain. Nade out. But Psykilla already got the kill. 1 versus 4 against a team like Wrecked. I'd be shaking in my boots. But Hero, from the plays we saw earlier, that's not the kind of player they are.
Psykilla scoops it up. Hero goes down, and Wrecked get close. to a map 1 win. 7-3 lead, 2 away. And man, look at the KDs. Coper there. They're fighting. Keezy 8-8, Stormy 5-9, but Psykillo 11-4 on the first map of the series so far.
You know, historically we've seen Smalls be Cope's secret weapon in a way, and right now Smalls is underperforming, and it could be impacting Cope, and it could be impacting Cope. We've seen so many satisfying and just jaw-dropping plays from Smalls. They're not happening right now on Kitty. 2 points away. Rekt will take the first map. Bit of a stalemate here on Bunker between Psykillo and Hero. Down they go, though. First kill.
There's 2. Nice double for Psykillo. Finds Haas. Cuts them down to 2 as Keezy gets picked up again. And Psykillo continues their reign through the middle of this map.
And he goes long there on Stormy. They hear 2 pairs of footsteps. Finds 1. Swings for the double. They get it. Tarmac finding a headshot onto the lurk. Smalls goes down. 1 versus 2. A time nade. Goes a little bit too far for Stormy. They're full health. Oh, not that one.
A long-range nade off of a couple of really nice plays here. As we do take a look back at that replay, the double kill from Stormy on top of that earlier double kill. It's the postseason, and we're here for it. Map number 1 of this best of 3, and Rekt take it to map point.
Unbelievable. I was about to say Rayab not even pushing into the middle. Keezy does go down, but they weren't even contesting Bunker. They just needed a single nade, a well-placed one, and they did find the kill. Psykillo does go down. Big trade out on the rocks near A, and that brings us to a 3 versus 3. Rusty below half health. That's going to be an issue for Rekt down the line.
A lot of nades, a lot of utility coming to Haas there on the corner as they drop back. Not going to overextend and risk it because, frankly, it's a 3-3, and Cope cannot afford to lose a round now.
They have health advantage, and for now, Rekt seems to be kind of halted. A little bit of pre-fires there on Bunker. Out of Bunker, excuse me, on the alleyways.
Oh!
Look, it has unbelievable peak.
Yeah, they caught the scanner holder no less, so definitely disrupts things, but Tarmac picks it up and now actually able to rotate themselves over to A pretty easily. As is going to try and rotate around to that long side, but this is going to be scannered down at A uncontested.
Beautiful rotations from Haz, just keeping themselves alive, rotating brilliantly, forcing Rekt to actually waste a smoke. Here they come, though, pre-firing onto the site. Tarmac is under fire. They do catch the kill, though, but there's 2 left, 2v2 again. Both of these Rekt players are low health. Cope is full health.
Yeah, they're looking good. They should be able to push this retake and lock it in, but shots are unfurling on the other side, and Stormy is the one that connects. Now it's all up to Tarmac alone, and the 1v2 predicts beautifully the rotation, pre-firing the corner, swings for the second, and trades down with the scanner. Already planted, it's Rekt, locking in a commanding map 1 victory, 9-3.
Man, that last round was a little bit closer than I think what people were anticipating. 73% of viewers voted that Rekt would win the match, but this is again only map 1. We're here in a best of 3. Cope could pull off some
a bounce back, as we say.
Bounce back, some fishy little strategies on the next 2 maps.
Kitty is Kitty, you know, and ultimately it was close. Keezy, Stormy both putting up 8 kills apiece, but Psykillo, Tarmac, Shears, and Rusty all in the double digits. That's 4 players in the double digits. That's pretty impressive. That is definitely representative of the score, 9-3 in Rekt's favor, and you got to wonder what the choice is for map 2. What do the stats have to say?
Yeah, I mean, if Rekt is going to pick this next map, it's I mean, if these stats are true, and if their internal statistics reflect these, it will be down to Miru. That is, they have played Miru the most amount of times with 170 rounds played just in Season 2. Compare that to Cope, and again, you know, the statistics on the website is not completely reflective of the current roster that Cope is running with. But their best map at the moment seems to be Kitty. Next up, Miru as well. Okay, interesting.
No easy map too, it seems, for the likes of Cope when you're going up against Rect. And yeah, we'll have to see where we do go as we do go into a brief little pause. And yeah, we do have worth noting too, Jacob not here for Cope. You know, if you remember in the interview, Keezy saying that they had a couple of their roster on vacation. That might be playing a factor in this team's performance this afternoon. At the end of the day, you know, not having your core can hurt, but it is why you want to have more than 5 on your roster. It is why you want to play those other 3 players enough to be experienced and ready in case they're needed for the most important game of your entire season.
Right. And this arguably is, you know, Rect going up against Rect officially, you know, the former champions, the Season 1 victors. It's a big deal, and not just, you know, not just for the prize pool, which is, you know, something to think about, but you know, also like part of the culture of the community. It's a big deal to go up against a team like Rect.
Giving them the thumbs up for map 2, and we should be hopping in shortly. It does give us again a time to shout out our sponsor, Axe Labs, coming in with $10,000 to the prize pool. A tremendous contribution from their side that ends up getting split between regions and ultimately first place with $5,500. HyperX coming in with hardware into that prize pool, and ProTube, one of our longest sponsors, delivering fantastic stock options for you right now. They actually just released the VRML Con edition of the ProTube stock that they created for VRML Con last year in 2024. I'd recommend you check it out, pick it up, and support the VRML and ProTube, one of our longest sponsors. We're ready, though. I've stalled long enough, chum, and it's map number 2 to your predictions. It's Miru.
And the map win rate is still better than Suna. So yeah, this is technically good for both of these teams. This is going to be very, very competitive.
Here we go. Into our first round with pistols in hand and Cope on defense with Rect on the attack. And Smalls barreling forward says, hey, I'm going to try and pick up a double. A 1-for-1 ain't bad when you get that aggressive, so I'm sure they're happy. And ultimately maybe have drawn enough attention from the B site.
And that's also intel. We can't forget, you know, Smalls, before they went out, they saw Volk bodies, and they were able to call that out to their teammates. The scanner is heading up towards A, slowly but surely. But any kind of intel that the defense can get is always going to be useful. Rusty goes down to Stormy.
Trying to fight the ankles. Shears catches easy with those shots on the rotation, and we're into an all-out brawl in close quarters.
Absolute chaos here at the bottom of A. No commitment from the scan holder. What a swing from Tarmac. Slams a headshot onto Hero, and it's all left up to Stormy. Less than half health. May catch Shears off guard. Shears hanging on by a thread.
Stormy wanted the kill there. You could see it. Their frustration in not having that connect all the way. And they are going to have to swing out now against Shears, against the duo. That's a tall order. Shears tucks in, and they'll spring their trap late with low HP. Stormy goes down, and Rect start things off with an offensive round win with pistols in hand. Now we go with rifles for our second round and onward. And well, Rect have been looking good with those too. Second map won 9-3.
I'm really wanting to predict something out of the pistol rounds, but I really just don't want to be wrong. Scanner once again, slow and steady up through A. A couple little stragglers, 2 of the colonists pushed up behind B. So far, Smalls isn't going to be pushing out like crazy like they did there on pistols, trading out in headshots, but they are going to be a thorn in the colonist side for now.
Oh my gosh, Smalls with the knife throw. Catches Tarmac on the short corner. Stormy picks up another kill, and Cope, just like that, are in control with a 5v3 advantage.
And that's huge. You know, that's coordination coming out. It's Stormy playing off of kind of the unpredictability of Smalls and, you know, finding out a second kill. Nade out attempt. Oh my gosh. Rusty goes for the refrag. A long range kill with that AK-12 headshot. On top of that, a smoke has been up deployed on A. It seems that the colonist push is beginning to close. A flash out by Rayab. Doesn't catch anybody. No, they're pushing through mid. They want B.
Oh, and a nade from Rusty, perfectly predicting Has, hearing their rotation, catches them out, but Smalls is still here in the short corner, and they'll find the double, trying to make it 3. The knife doesn't quite connect, but they've already got 3 kills. Now they're going for 4 at this point.
There's no way Rusty can... Oh my gosh, that knife was so close. There's no way Rusty can clutch this up. I mean, Scan is literally so close to Smalls. They just have to bait Rusty out, force
10
them
seconds.
to pick it up. There's no time left. Look at Smalls squirting off.
Yeah, and Rusty trying to find the kills will not as the defense tucks in. And yeah, they survive. By time, Cope wins their 4th round of the day and ties up our second map 1-1.
See, Nightfire, I'm not crazy. That's the Smalls I'm talking about. That's the craziness I'm talking about. That's what I signed up for. I'm here to watch Smalls. It's an exaggeration, but you know, that was really an incredible play. 3 kills, including a knife. Incredible player.
Almost tried to bite the ankles there of Rusty, but Rusty fighting hard up the stairs, catches the kill, and the sight push most certainly coming in from Wreck. As Has tries to hold things down, they get picked off by Psychillo. Psychillo trades down with Stormy for a 1-for-2, and it leaves only 2 left alive on Cope. Make it only 1, as Smalls is all they have. They're going to have to rely on him to clutch up the 1v2.
Scan started.
Is this the flank they're ready for? I mean, look at Tarmac. They're watching mid. They're going to hear footsteps as anybody comes up. If Small plays this right... Oh, no. At this speed, they're going to have to... Oh, they can't crawl up from the underground, I don't think. 30 seconds and counting now. Tarmac is in a beautiful position to hear audio cues from below. Shear's ready for the refrag just in case. 20 seconds.
Toss, nice swing. Smalls on the back end, but time ticks down and Shears catches them out. They simply wouldn't have had enough to catch out that interrupt regardless, and Wrecked put on a second point, push their lead up by 1, and are looking to grab this series in 2 maps, Chum. They want to wrap this up in 2 and beyond of battling Acer tomorrow in a best of 5.
They can't wait till tomorrow. And they're really playing like it, as you said. Scan wants A side again. Early nade from Psy. Absolute frag master catching Has. And they're actually going up against Keezy. Around 10 health. Oh, down they go. Psy with the early 2 kills. A site frag through the smoke. Psy may see Hero. Do they hear their footsteps? There's the kill. Unbelievable from Psychillo.
Absolutely barreling through sight. Confident. Dominating their way, and ultimately, just tiptoeing past their opponents to catch the kill. Stormy going to try to push up the middle, but they're going to be pushing up the middle of what is a full and healthy defense from Wrecked.
Not much Smalls can do with Tarmax AK-12. Oh, unstoppable. 3 points now for Rekt. And a celebratory dance on top.
Yeah, and I mean, on Miru, taking 3 points on offense is pretty good. It puts you into a decent spot on the side swap, but they're early in the half right now. With only 4 rounds played, they've got an opportunity to really stack the lead up here on their offensive half for when they swap sides and then go on defense.
In Rekt, they're using the incredible skill at their disposal. Specifically in round 4, they were using Tarmac specialty and Psykilo's absolutely daring playstyle to really put a dent into the defense. But, you know, they are really coordinated, just like that Akari and Hero. Tarmac goes down, a self-nade, but yeah, the coordination from Rekt is really spectacular.
Sorry for the disrespect, Tarmac, but we had to throw it on the replay. Because we caught it. But you hate to see it. And it goes to show you that it's not so easy to throw these grenades. Not as easy as these teams certainly make it look, because sometimes they are pinpoint accurate. Sakillo pops up, surprised by Keezy, and Keezy almost picks up a 3Z, but only gets 2Zs as Shears is still alive.
Stormy, another. Slowly, the Rekt offense has been whittled down basically completely. No, Rusty's still here. They're still talking. Less than half health, a headshot onto Stormy. They might have heard the drop down here from Haz. They have picked up the scanner, and they've heard that shot from Haz. That's great intel for Rusty to use. Are they ready for Smalls, though?
Yep. Oh, no. They're in a good spot here. Low on ammo, Rusty has to pick up the EMP, and Haz thinks that maybe a rotation was coming into the other side of the site. Or they just drop back to push up to the middle here and have this push down. Either way, scan is down, and there's a clutch that Rusty's trying to execute on here. Has lower HP, but the better gun. Here comes the push. They're swinging around the crates. A back and forward that ends in a trade. And with the scanner down, Rekt are the beneficiary of the round. They go up 4-1. Their lead continues to grow.
You know, with a slightly lower fire rate weapon with a higher vertical recoil gun like the AK-12 versus I don't even remember what the MK418. You know, that is high fire rate. In a situation like that, you want that high fire rate weapon when the health bars are that low. But that's how competitive these players are. Even with those differentiating guns, they were still able to trade. It just goes to show.
Smalls and Psykillo just on the other side of each other. Those nades came close to connecting. Smalls is not ready for Psykillo on that short corner. Now Psykillo picks up a double.
Runs away with 2 health. Tarmac slams a headshot. Haz goes down. It's 2 left there on the Cope defense. Make it 1v3. Oh my gosh, the kills are absolutely blazing in this lobby. The scan is making its way to
back there, actually.
A?
Yeah, it does look like that. Interestingly enough, they're going to rotate around Hero and essentially go over to A.
Look at this yin yang. Hero's stuck in the middle. They're stuck on the stairs. They're thinking it's a B. It's a B site.
Getting where they've gotten though, and yeah, you're right. There is a nade coming out. Scanner will eventually go down, and Hero does get half held from long range as that rotation comes through. Nice pickup. Can't find the second. And Rekt are up 5-1.
Difficult to operate when there's so many crosshairs around you, just restricting and constraining your movements. It's really tough. But a fight well fought from Hero. 5-1 for the Rekt side instead.
5-1. 2 more rounds in the half, then we swap sides, and Rekt get a chance at defense. Cope definitely not happy with how their defensive half is going, I imagine. On Mira, you typically want to come out with a positive or tied defensive half for a real good shot at winning the map.
Seeing another split here from the Rekt offense as Sheer is pushing up. They may catch Keezy off guard. Keezy's looking Oh, here's the swing. Trade, unbelievable. But that does give intel. A is weak. And look at Tarmac swinging, AK-12 in hand.
Meanwhile, a little fight going on over at B with Rusty scooping up Stormy, going down to Hero on the swing, and Hero looking for two with that they'll find. A nice hold coming in from Cope onto B site, leaves only two, make it one left alive as Hero finds a third. The hero of the round.
Quite literally, Akari 1-4 KD. It's going to be really tough. They're going up against straight into Smalls there on A side territory. What? The disrespect is unreal. A knife throw, Smalls calmly tosses it at Akari and gives Cope their second point on Miro.
They both had knives out. They both knew what they were doing, but it goes the way of Smalls no less. And yeah, I think that's their second knife kill on the map. Up now, a 5-2 lead still for Rekt, but an opportunity for the half to end 5-3 for Cope, which I think would be manageable.
Huge frags by Psykillo. Such a brutal kill. Stormy, they're forcing Rat out of their position. Look at Psykillo! Blitzkrieging through, they get shut down. Has with the double kill. Psykillo and Akari go down. Smalls also out of the picture. Has riding a 3K.
Chips them down to just two. Have full ace if they want to lock in this round to win. And it's doable. They know where two are. They know that one is rotated out. They have a nice smoke for that line of sight, but they can't catch Rusty. And Rekt push their lead back up to 4. We swap sides, and they go on defense now. Cope have the tall order of attack, and Rekt are 3 away from going up against Acer in the grand finals tomorrow.
They really are so close, but I can feel Cope really trying to find some sort of foothold. Now they're going to have to try to find it in their offensive rounds now. Early Rayab smokes here from Rusty as Psykillo pushes in aggressive. Knife throw doesn't go their way. Is this a double from Psy? No! The one hand doesn't pan out. 4v4, Stormy is very badly hurt.
Yeah, they tried to reload fast enough to catch the kill, but couldn't quite get it. Time under combat, and Rusty here fighting against Keezy. The SMG come out on top in that close quarter exchange. And Rekt, they're down to 3. Not looking good on their defensive hold here.
And on pistol rounds, health matters just so much. And Keezy and Stormy honestly could go down to like maybe 1 or 2 shots, especially Stormy. This Colonist push could quickly turn into... Never mind, that headshot from Shears completely throws me out. Oh my gosh, Keezy goes down. It's all left up to Stormy as Hero gets headshotted from Akari.
Wow.
What?
Like you said, HP matters, and their HP was low.
Yeah, but not Smalls. That was a clean headshot from Tarmac. Here comes Tarmac. Stormy will hear the footsteps, but opts to run. Knife throw from the Rekt side. Oh, yeah. The health.
Round starting. Get ready.
2 to go. And we've got ourselves our second qualifier into the grand finals. That prize money, the $2,300 in cash and the $5,500 for first, $2,300 for second. Smalls opens things up with a nice nade on Tarmac, though, and that's one way to get things moving.
I absolutely love the energy coming from Psykillo, pushing out so aggressive, though Stormy punishes them on the overextension. Look at Rusty, the classic headshot with the AK-12. Keezy on a spree, double kill here on the B side, and they have the scanner. They will plant it. No, not before Akari goes down. 3 points for Cope. They're still here.
Yeah.
They're still kicking.
Maybe they're settling into their comfort zone here. And into a good spot. 7-3. that pace was nice, I think, in my opinion, Chum, where they really sort of stepped up, got more aggressive, got a little bit more confident in their play style, because maybe it's sort of a do or die mindset, right? Like, why not try something different? Because we're losing rounds and we need to win. We cannot afford to lose more than 2 rounds left in our season.
Like, Kilo being punished like that, I think, was really that was, I think, the first domino that led to the collapse of the Rec defense there. They just couldn't handle the Cope rushing B like that, and also ready for that A side swing. We're playing really slow. We have 4 players left on the Cope side, 2 of which are pretty badly damaged. Spread across the map, Scanner wants A site, but we could see a last-minute rotation back.
Tight angle here from Psychillo as the nade comes in, catches both. Rusty picks up a double, and Direct are still fighting. Cope are left with only 1 as Scanner shifts over to A.
Look at the discipline. Shears is just watching that angle. Stormy saw ahead, throws a nade, tries to catch anybody hiding behind that car container, but Akari's not there. A smoke out does not do much. Does not do much against Shears' angle, and just like that, with a headshot, they bring them match point for the semifinals.
Series point here indeed for Rect. They're going to be, at this stage, the contender against Acer, but they've got to lock in one more. They've got to lock in this defensive hold, and maybe we'll see another Rect skin. Who knows? Either way, a solid map 1 victory leads into a solid map 2 performance that could be the same score, 9-3. If Psychillo here getting aggressive, anything to say about it.
Both of these teams are adjusting to each other. Look at that wombo from Stormy. Nade onto Rusty.
Coper fighting back. Akari here is about to spring their trap on the flank, though. They're waiting for Scanner to go down, but they may be waiting too long. Tarmac catching kills. Scanner goes down, and Akari springs out. A pinch on all the way the long flank from Smalls throws things off. They'll catch Tarmac. They could. They might get it in time. Yeah, there's a long rotation for Smalls here to get here in time to hit the shots. They're going to try and stick it. They come up for the trade, and it goes the way of Cope. By the skin of Cope's teeth. With Scanner down, they'll stay alive in a 1-for-1 exchange.
Unbelievable. I mean, really, I don't know if Akari had to peek Smalls. I don't remember if Akari was low health or something like that, but man, Tarmac gave out the call out. He's far. He's rotating from A. Defuse it, you know. I'm sure that call out came out from Tarmac. But Akari just did not feel comfortable sitting on that Scanner. Also, what a flick by Tarmac, hitting a headshot by a by a Colin as jumping. I mean, unbelievable gun skills from this Rec squad.
That's what gets you into the on-stage performance of VRML, you know, this kind of performance. But Coper fighting. Keezy's here. They've got Akari. A-site is weak, and everyone is barreling in. Keezy needs more. They've caught their second kill. That smoke not going to do any damage to Keezy, and this plant is going to come through. The only one that's kind of out of position a little bit here is Smalls, but will that matter? We don't know.
Through the smoke, Rusty catches a headshot.
Again, Smalls has to sprint. They're going to go for the interrupt. Shears is going to try and stick it. No, they're not. Smalls is sprinting down the long lane, and Shears has the advantage. They'll catch the kill and be able to take that interrupt uninterrupted, and Rect will advance on in 2 maps as our second qualifier into the grand finals tomorrow. They guarantee themselves $2,300 in cash because they've guaranteed at least second place, but they get a chance to go for that big prize money at first, Chum. And it's well-deserved, that's for sure. But Cope fought hard this afternoon.
They really did. They really did. And we saw some kind of resurgence there on Mirai. Yeah. I really have to say. They showed us something that was different than the Cope we saw there on Kitty. They weren't letting themselves get pushed around, and they really, gave Rect a run for their money.
Absolutely a fun series to tune into today, but both Acer and Rect are in peak shape, and they're ready to play tomorrow in our grand finals. So remember to tune in tomorrow, same time, same place, 3 p.m. PST, where we'll have our bronze best of 3 and our grand finals best of 5 to play out. We also have EU grand finals tomorrow as well if you want to catch that early in the morning, but it's been a long day, so that's it for us here on the desk. Thank you so much for tuning in. A quick shout out to our sponsors, AxeLab, ProTube, and HyperX for supporting VRML in our second season. But until tomorrow, stay classy. VAIL VRML is brought to you by XLab, Exclaim, Helga, the esports manager, HyperX, ProTube VR, VR Cover. Thanks for watching VRML.